What up, YouTube? Webhead Mike here, and Wizards of the Coast once again shows they hate their player base and they want them to do things their way, not any other creativity. We saw it with the Creator Summit, which just showed they don't really understand how to market what they have to people, and it seems that they might be having, instead of it being a tabletop game, it might become a virtual tabletop game. So it's problematic to play in person, I guess. Speaking of problematic, they also say half-breed races are not allowed. You hear that? They're saying if you're one species or race and you want to have an engagement with another species or race, it is improper for you to have a child together. And if you do, that child doesn't exist to them. Can you think of how insane that sounds? Because I think it does. And I'm convinced that despite all these so-called sensitivity readers, anyone who's saying these things or is trying to be woke, I am convinced that they just might be racist with a guilty conscience. Because if I were to say to you, who said this? Let it never be forgotten that white people are born with privileges above other people. Would that be said by a Klansman or, say, Robin DiAngelo? Hard to tell now, isn't it? And just think about that. You have this story that could come about from two different people coming together, two very different people coming together, going past all their differences, and sure, there might be some heartache and heartbreak and joys and ecstasies that go along with that. You can have such a cool story lined up behind that. Now, of course, there's the simple one of human and elf. Well, the elf's going to live longer, and the child is going to live well past the human adult. So that's one way you can work in some interesting character development into this. And I have to wonder, how are they trying to be inclusive with this? I mean, another time they tried being inclusive was, I don't know, the combat wheelchair. Okay. No castle is going to be OSHA compliant. They're designed to be war structures. Even if you're able-bodied, it's still pretty difficult to sometimes maneuver and navigate through them. And that's by design. It's supposed to be defensible. No. I look at... And there's even a half-elf in the game I'm running currently. I have no intention of denying them that existence. I have no intention of denying whatever story might come about from their family. Because if you really want to be inclusive, why would you leave people out? I just don't understand how it is problematic to have a half race. Now, I believe they also said half dragons are not allowed to, and don't get those confused with dragonborns. Those are two separate things. But again, same bit with the elf. You could have a interesting dynamic about how, okay, is this creature now going to be helping with the horde, building up their own, potentially becoming a rival and being seen as a rival by their dragon parent? Don't know. Could have some interesting dynamics. But Wizards of the Coast will say, no, you do what we want. Because, of course, they know better. They know so much better that they're, and they know so much that their Creator Summit totally didn't backfire on them. It totally didn't happen where everyone saw that they don't know what they want to do with Dungeons & Dragons. I mean, they're also saying that their 1D&D isn't actually going to be 6e, it's just going to be a compatible 5e. Well, that kind of makes sense to me, because if 5e is what everyone wants to play, why would you force another edition on them? And more importantly, it seems that maybe a lot of the playtests from 1D&D might just be add-ons or additional supplements to some existing class features. Like maybe you'll take something instead of what's already established in the book. Which I said, which I would say is kind of smarter, because whenever there's another edition, people would think, oh, well, I have to buy all these books all over again. And it's only, and it hasn't even been a decade, has it? No. I think next year will be the decade, but that being said, you look at the success you've had with 5e, if it ain't broke, why fix it? Well, clearly it's because they want to get this on a monetary train, just like Magic the Gathering does, or anything else they could mass market with purchasables or recurring spending, monetization, so to speak. So you won't have a tabletop anymore. You'll have their virtual tabletop only, which is not a future I look forward to. I mean, the computer is a great tool, but it can't replace what happens between people. But that's just my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Is Wizards of the Coast a bunch of woke wankers for trying to say no half races allowed? Are they in fact being the racists in this scenario? I'd love to hear more of your thoughts down below. And until next time, Webhead Mike, out.